Hello everyone, welcome back to our basic bodies. Okay, now these are the main items we'll be using. Your pattern master, very important. You can get this French cuff for the back armhole. You need your paper scissors, different from your fabric scissors. You need your pencil and your eraser in case your markings are not correct. Please start with pencil so that you can always erase and do the right thing. Okay, I have this marker for highlight in case the pencil is not clear. I can use it to highlight the line so that you see it properly. It's just for you, it's not for drafting pattern. Okay, so I have my tape, very necessary in case I will need it. Alright, that's all for now. We should have a tracing wheel, but I can't just lay my hand on it. Okay, so we'll do otherwise. Alright, now to know the amount of paper we'll need, before then we need to create a margin, and I have created a margin already. And from the top part of the paper, I measured 3 cm down straight. From this other side, I measured 2 cm, okay, and drew straight. Now to know the amount of paper we'll be needing for back and front block, I will have to calculate it, and I'm going to use the bust and the hip measurement to get that. Now take your bust measurement, divide it by 2, add 5 cm to it, write the answer. Take your hip measurement, divide it by 2, add 3 cm to it, write the answer. Which of them is higher? I have 55.5 and 55. Now, but the bust is higher than the hip, so I'm going to use 55.5, and that is the amount of paper we need. So in measuring the 55.5, our measurements across, not the length, across. We're going to measure from this 2 cm, which is the margin, take it down to 55.5. Now once you rule a straight line on that 55.5, you can add additional 2 inches. That will serve as your margin. Not so compulsory that if you want. Okay, I don't usually do that, but you too can do it. Okay, you can do it. So we will be starting, and our measurement is going to start from this 3 cm, like I said before. So according to the measurement, my point O is 3.5. My point O is 3.5, so I'm going to measure. Hope you can see what I'm doing clearly. I'm going to measure 3.5. Let me use pattern master since we're working in inches. I'm going to measure 3.5, and here is 3.5. Now this 3.5, you're not going to square it all the way down. Here is the point O. I'm not taking it all the way down, so you label point O. Okay, label it point O. Now from this point O, we're going to take other measurements for the back. So from this point O, I'm going to measure my waist measurement. Point O to waist measurement, and we said that my waist is 39, the length of waist. We're using 39. So this length of waist, I'm going to square it all the way down to the front. Okay, so here we have our waist measurement. I'm going to square it down. Make sure that your lines are very straight. Remember, you measured from point O, and the point O is not getting to the other part of the paper. So while measuring from this part, make sure you add the 3.5 so that everything will be on the same line. Okay, so next we're going to get our hip measurement, and according to the book, our hip is 22 cm from the waistline. So we're going to measure 22 cm. I'm glad this paper will take it. Measuring 22 cm from waistline down, and you're going to take it across. So this is our hip line. From waistline to hip line, 22 cm. Okay, so now we're going over to the bust measurements, and I said we're using 21.5. I can as well decide to use what exactly is in the textbook, which is 22.5. There's something I usually do when I use freehand. I know where my bust point is supposed to be. Okay, so in order to make sure that it is accurate, because the ones I've been using fits properly, I can check it front and back to know if they tally. Alright, but for now the measurement I just took, I'm using the 22.5 cm. I'm not using my old measurement again since something has changed. Okay, so I'm using 22.5 cm. Maybe I can also use 21.5 cm. Don't get confused. Okay, I'm still thinking about it, but the right thing is I'm thinking about it because of what I'm wearing and my measurement, and that's why it's good when you want to take measurements, tell the person to wear exactly what she wears almost all the time. Let it be fitted. Let the person wear what she's going to wear when the clothes is actually done, so that you can take accurate measurement. I mean inner wears. Okay, so using freehand, some people get confused knowing where to place the inches and where to place the centimeter. There is nothing difficult about it. You want to know how many cm makes 1 inch, just fold it over wherever it leads you. That's where the cm is. Where does 4 inches lead in cm, just fold it over and you get the measurement. As simple as that. There's no mathematics attached to it. Okay, so let's continue. So finally I decided to go with 22.5, which is what is in the textbook. So here is my bust depth of armhole, which is the bust line. I square it down to the front part. Okay, so now we have 0.0 depth of armhole, waist and hip. Okay, now we want to get our across chest. Now to get the across chest, you just have to measure from 0.0 to depth of armhole and divide it by 2. So here that I'm having 22.5, I'm going to divide 22.5 into 2, and that will be my across back. So the answer is going to give me 11.25. So I'll look for 11.25 and mark. Remember, this measurement is not going across to the front part of it. So it's going to stop around 10 cm or something of that nature. Stop making a noise. So here we have our cross back. Please make sure, endeavor to check the measurements are correct. If they are not correct, try to do it again. I think I'm going to. So these are all the measurements we need for the back. This is our 0.0. This is our cross back, which is 22.5 across back. Here is our bust line, which is the depth of armhole, and here we have our waist, which is 39, and here we have the hip, which is 22 cm from waistline. And we're going from 0.0, you measure 62 cm from 0.0, 62 cm from point O to hip line. You're going from waistline 22 cm to hip line. Okay, so this is what we need for the back. The length parameters. Let's look at the width parameter for the back. Okay, sorry, we've not measured the shoulder line. The shoulder line is 3 cm from point O. Okay, for the back, the shoulder line is always 3 cm from point O. So you're going to measure 3 cm. I forgot to mention that. 3 cm from point O. You're still not getting to the front. Okay, make sure that your measurements are correct. Your measurements are correct. Okay, so this is our shoulder line, 3 cm from point O. So what we're going to do now is to measure our back neck width. What is our back neck width? We're using 7.5 for our back neck width, and this we're going to measure at point O. We're going to measure the back neck width at point O. Across, we'll measure 7.5, depending on the measurement you're using. 7.5. Now at this 7.5, we're going to take it up by 2 cm. 2 cm. Make sure it's on the same line. 7.5. Okay, so we're going to take that up and use your curve. You can use your curve, whichever curve you want to use. I think this will be better. Curve it from this 2 cm down to this point. I hope you can see it properly. This is too deep. Don't want to make it to be too deep. Okay, so this is okay. Cover it to the neck point. Now we're going to measure again. Now we're going to measure out our cross back. After this point O, we have the shoulder line, then the cross back. We're going to put down the measurements we have. Our measurement was 40 cm, so we're going to divide 40 cm into 2, and that will be giving us 20 cm. So this 20 cm, we're still going to measure it at the bust line, which is the depth of armhole. Measure the same 20 cm. Come to the shoulder line, measure the same 20 cm, and you rule it a straight line. I hope you're understanding what we're doing here. If you don't understand, please ask a question in the comment section. Now this place is gone. Now at this shoulder line, after this 20 cm that we're going to measure 2 cm outside. cm, and from there we're going to connect it to the neck point. In a straight line, connect to the neck point. So here we have NP, neck point, and here we have SP, shoulder point. Okay, now this is our back width. At this back width, what we're going to do is to measure from this point of the back, across back width, the point here, we're going to measure 2 cm up, and from there also we'll measure 3 cm down. This is just to serve as a guide on how we're going to connect the lines. So we're going to connect SP to this 2 cm above the across back. We're ruling a straight line there. Okay, here is already straight, so we're not ruling another line here. What we're going to do is to measure our back UP, right? Yes, back UP, and our back UP is 6 cm. We're using 6 cm. So from this point of the 20 cm that we stopped before, we're going to measure 6 cm upward like this. 6 cm. Now we're going to use a straight line. We're going to measure an angle of 45 degrees. Now if you're using your pattern master, what you're going to do is to keep it this way on the straight line and make sure that the lines you're measuring at 45 degrees. This line ruled here, if you check it properly, it's at 45 degrees, so you mark at this point. Then using that as a guide, looking up to that point, you're going to measure 3 cm. I hope you can see this properly. Following that line, you're measuring 3 cm up. Rule a straight line there. Now this is to help you on how to connect the armhole. So we're going to use this, connect from this C's for the back UP, connect it to this point and then to this area. So this is what we have for the back. So having connected the lines, we're not going to take the waist measurements now. Now we're going to take the hip measurement. What was the hip? We're using hip of 104, and we're going to divide 104 into 4. Whatever it gives us, we're going to measure it on this hip line. So our hip divided by 4 is giving us 22. I'm not adding anything to the back. The dress is already, the bodice is already a free one, so I'm not adding additional thing to the back. And that is what I've measured, 26 cm. And I'm going to connect from this line to this back UP on a straight line. On a straight line, I'm connecting the two together. Hope you can see it properly, connecting it together. So we have our back this way. The other things we're going to do is the shaping, that is the darts and all that, where it's going to be. So in the next video, we're going to see how to shaping it, put the darts. For now, the men's shaping or waist shaping will come after we are done with the front. So for now, this is what we have for the back, and we'll go to the front.